But if somebody hypothetically did buy the soundtrack to The Wizard of Oz and they owned it, what would that mean for Wizard of Oz merchandise going forward? Hello, fellow Ozians. I'm the Louisiana Quadling, a Wizard of Oz collector and enthusiast, sharing with you my thoughts, my collection, and a little bit of my musical talent with all of you. And welcome to my channel. Earlier this month, Oz friend of mine, Sharon Ray, creator of the wonderful blog Curiosity Corner, link down in the description, shared this eyebrow-raising article. Warner Brothers looks to sell soundtracks to Wizard of Oz, Batman, and more. Well, that doesn't sound good. As part of Warner Brothers Discovery's ongoing transformation, it has now been reported that the company is looking into selling the soundtracks to several Warner Brothers films, which make up some of the most iconic musical scores ever written. And last year, for those of you who don't know, Warner Brothers and Discovery merged together, and also got a new CEO, David Zaslav. Unfortunately, this was another one of Warner Brothers' attempts to compete with some of the bigger movie companies like Disney or Universal. But it seems like most of Warner Brothers' decisions really haven't been going in their favor. The article continues. According to a report by Financial Times, to alleviate the company's massive $50 billion debt, Warner is currently searching for potential buyers that could acquire the soundtrack rights it still owns. This includes the likes of The Wizard of Oz and Batman. The music catalog could be worth over $1 billion, barely a tiny fraction of the accumulated debt, though still an impressive figure. Okay. So, $50 billion debt? $50 billion? I mean, who was the idiot that even allowed that one to happen? So, I realize that Warner Brothers movies haven't done too well as of recently. I mean, just take a look at last year's box office. Paramount was #1 here in the States, with Universal and Disney following. I mean, I'm not even sure what was the last Warner Brothers movie I actually went and saw in theaters. No? Yeah, I got nothing. So anyways, they're thinking about selling off these movie soundtracks. And honestly, this sounds like the stupidest idea yet that they've come up with. I can't see anyone willing to buy, like, the soundtrack to The Wizard of Oz and not get the movie with it. Like, that seems like a really hard sell. Now, the article does say later on, it bears saying that the same sources quoted in the report indicate that if a deal were to occur, Warner Brothers would require access and use to the scores for potential movies or shows. So whoever buys these soundtracks from Warner Brothers still has to allow Warner Brothers to use them. Yeah, the more I read about this, the stupider it sounds. But if somebody hypothetically did buy the soundtrack to The Wizard of Oz and they owned it, what would that mean for Wizard of Oz merchandise going forward? Would we see less that features the songs from the movie? Would you see less music boxes? Would we see the Hallmark ornaments without the songs from the movies? Maybe just dialogue from the movies? I would assume we would probably not get more musical dolls like what we've occasionally gotten. Ashton Drake came out with a line a couple years ago, and Mattel came out with a line for the 70th anniversary that featured song clips with the dolls. this just doesn't sound good. It really doesn't. And with all of this talk, I honestly wonder if Warner Brothers would ever sell off the rights to something like The Wizard of Oz. At this point, considering the very little that Oz fans are being given, I actually wouldn't mind another company owning the rights to the MGM movie. Just for the sake of fans and also just publicity for the movie, because it seems like the movie has just vanished. I don't see Wizard of Oz merchandise in stores anymore like I used to. Not that I always regularly saw it, but as time has gone on, it's become like more and more of a concern for me, where I'm like, this is kind of weird that we have a movie that is one of the biggest movies of American cinema, and it's nowhere. It's just weird. It's just weird. What do you think? I would love to hear what your comments are on this. Let's have a discussion down in the comments section. And if you liked that video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. New videos are posted every 2 weeks on the 15th and last day of each month. And if that doesn't satisfy your appetite for Oz, follow the link in the description to ozclub.org and join the International Wizard of Oz Club. Until next time, bye y'all.